Yet another WPC PowerDriver board. This one's a -1. It has the flipper power ground enable relay and all this circuitry with these optocouplers to detect when the flippers have been fired. I have installed a couple of parts that the client sent. He sent me a cap for C2 and C5, so I have installed his C2 and his C5, which was a nice capacitor. I'm not sure where he got that one, but it matches the OEM capacitors perfectly. I have replaced all the power headers, and I have also replaced C4. Now this is about as much as I can do. Well, it is as much as I can do to guard against resets. Here's C4 in the center. That would be attributable to the PowerDriver board. The only other things that can be done in the game is there's a modification to the CPU drive, or CPU board, sorry, and then the female headers, of course, at J114 and J101 are always suspicious when dealing with resets. So let's put it into test, and we will test the solenoids first. I'm using, again, the WPC DMD test ROM, which is very orderly in its test versus testing with a game ROM. It will, as you can see there, test the first 16 solenoid drive circuits, and I'll come back to those flashers, but here's your general illumination. Very nice. Victor, if you're watching, I do have enough room for your board here, but I'm going to stick with my, this is a family heirloom now, so I'm probably going to stick with that. Let's see, lamps and flashers at the same time. This is the way I like to test these, because these flashers go so much faster, and you can see that all the lamps are operating correctly. The voltages coming from this board are being generated on this board are top to bottom. The 5 volts is the 5 volt DC supplied across the system. 11.8 is regulated 12, and 11.8 is fine. 15.1 is unregulated 12, and that's also fine. 21 is for flash lamps, and 72 is for the coils. 72 seems high if you read the documentation where it says 50 volts, but I wish they'd have corrected that documentation before it got out, because every WPC system has 72 volt coils. So this PowerDriver board is now good to go. If there are any resets occurring after you install this board, the first thing to do is to repin this connector, J101. The second thing to do is repin J114. And then the third thing to do is to repin J210 on the CPU board. Thank you so much for sending it.